contest set for one fall is for the WWE Championship.
Life moves pretty fast. You don't stop and look around once in a while, you could miss it.
Welcome to Around the Turnbuckle. I'm Big Al. That guy right there is the professor, the one and only. And joining us is the high-valued man, Rico Hendrix. What's up, man?
What's going on? How y'all doing today?
We're doing excellent, sir.
Good.
We got a comment already. Big Dave from SWO Faithful right there. It's always cool to catch up with the high-valued man with our friends here around the turnbuckle this evening. Thank you, David. Always a pleasure, man. Mm-hmm. All right, man. Well, the professor and I don't have any voices left because we did play-by-play and color for 3WA in Quakertown last night. So we're going to let you talk, man. What's the last time we had you on, we learned about your career. And if anybody hasn't seen that episode, go back on our YouTube page, check the Rico Hendrix episode, the first one, and check out. He talks about how he started in the business and some of his favorite matches. We're not going to talk about that tonight. What we're going to talk about is here and now. How you been lately? How are things going for you lately? And what you got coming up?
Things have been fantastic lately. Every wrestler gets to a point every now and then where we get exhausted and we start to feel like, maybe we want to take a different route with what we're doing. But then I think the confirmation that I should be doing this is everything that's been lining up and everything that has happened this past year and even some parts of the late 2023. So it's been fantastic for me. Coming up, I'll start my ACW stuff that's here in Maryland. I do have a show on, April 19th, I want to say that. So Friday, where I'll be wrestling Chris Wilde for the ACW championship.
Wow.
And Chris Wilde is going to have none other than the Hall of Famer Devon Dudley in his corner. So that's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
For that. SWO-wise, the match that was just advertised, I will be facing Trent Farrell. I've never wrestled him before. So, I probably got to – it's a new matchup, and I got to watch some film, but I'm sure that it's going to be good, number one. And number two, I'm going to win because I have a lot of anger to get out. I'm sure you guys
I'm very aware of your anger. I remember you getting eliminated from the Jeff Becker tournament. And where did you go? You went right over to the desk, right in my face, and made sure that I was very familiar with your displeasure.
Yeah, I was having a bad day. Zach Belmont, as good as he is, like, everybody can get lucky every now and then. You know what I'm saying? Here's how I describe it. We're all professional athletes. Tom Brady didn't go undefeated. LeBron James didn't go undefeated. Everybody's going to have their day. But that wasn't my day. Zach Belmont, he caught me at the right place, the right time within that match. And if you run that match back 10 more times, that would not happen. So, congratulations for now. You better win the thing, because if you eliminated me for no reason, we're going to have a serious problem.
I was going to say a little bit of how my dad watches sports. Anytime my dad's team is eliminated in a playoff situation, he always goes, well, that's my new team now, because this way, if they win it all, there's no shame in getting beat by the guy that wins it all.
Exactly. But
man, the Zach Belmont, he has to take on Prince Piranha in the finals, so it's no easy task for Zach Belmont in the finals of the Jeff Becker Memorial Tournament on April the 20th, guys. We're talking April the 20th is the next SWO event. Saturday, April the 20th at Seven Valleys. You can get your tickets on swoprowrestling.org, or you can just show up at the door, man. $20 at the door, get you a great night of wrestling. And you said you'll be taking on Trent Farrell that night, right? Trent Farrell is, a SWO original. He's been like, up and down the mountain. He's been the most hated guy on the roster. He's been one of the most liked guys on the roster. Right now, he came back after a long hiatus, and he was in the Gauntlet for Glory. To me, like he didn't get a real chance to see if the ring rust was off of him or not like that. So, are you thinking that he might have that, may not have that, or are you still you said you have to check out some film on the guy?
Absolutely, film is important. However, ring rust is a very bad thing to have. Wrestler's worst enemy, as Ric Flair said, is time off. And with that amount of time off, he's not going to be able to. It's the small things that people don't get. Your timing hitting the ropes and coming back. Your timing climbing to the top rope. Your time, every single step you take, it's calculated, right? So when you take that time off, your calculations are going to be off. He doesn't know how much strength it's going to take to do move A. He doesn't know how he's going to counter move B. So he's going to be in for a long day, especially if you guys have seen me wrestle. I hit hard.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going to happen if I clothesline him one good time. And again, he hasn't taken it in however long. What's going to happen to him? Is it best conditioned for it? Is he going to be able to breathe? Is his breathing, is he trained to breathe that way? No.
I was going to say, I would certainly give you the strength advantage in this matchup. Farrell would need to rely on speed. And as you just pointed out, ring rust, if those calculations are off, that speed is going to be off. If he's half a step too slow, like you said, and you can get hands on him, now you're exploiting that power advantage. And we really have to wonder. I mean, Trent Farrell is really coming into a place of transition right now. He's been a tag wrestler for a very long time with Simon Rhyme. He's been in the trio, and before that, the quartet that was Next Gen. Next Gen is no longer a factor now. It's been spread to the winds. We know what, Kimberly Spirit is doing right now. Simon Rhyme has retired. Ken Andrews is trying to find himself right now. I mean, Trent Farrell's in the unfamiliar position of being a lone wolf out there.
We can't hear him now because he had it. What happened was he had a message when it goes blank like that. If he's using his phone, he had a message. We can't hear you right now.
Might have to go out, come back in, kind of thing. Maybe.
Yes. If you have to go back out and come back in, Rico. Meantime, we got some comments. David Hilt says you definitely won't beat him. He's been around a long time. Cameron's here. What's up, Cameron? What's up, guys? Cameron just texted me a question, and I told him I was live on Around the Turnbuckle, so he popped in. He tuned in live. So I'll answer your question right now, Cameron. It was the 3WA heavyweight I believe it was the 3WA heavyweight championship. I won't. Yeah, you asked about all the championship matches. The only one I'll give you, and I'll text you back when the show's over. Is Cody Rhodes is still the 3WA heavyweight champion.
Yeah,
that's the one I will give you. All right, there he is. Rico's back.
Should be good.
There we go.
All right, what I was saying is that transitioning from a tag competitor to a singles competitor, it has severe disadvantages. What's going to happen is, in a tag match, if you get a little winded, you get a little tired, tag. All right, this guy, or even if you're losing, I'm losing. All you got to do is get about 10 feet to the next side, tag. He's not going to be able to tag out. And you're somebody that's much stronger than you. And yeah, he is fast, but I'm quick. There's a difference. What happens is, I'll put it in football terms. There's a difference between straight line speed and being quick. Those guys that run those 4.2 40-yard dashes, those are your straight line speed guys. And he might have that at this point. But quick is what's going to happen with every single movement that I do. Every lateral movement, every single angle I need to take. That's where I'm going to beat him. He's not going to have that on me at all.
I want to ask you a question about when you got into the professor's face and you said you had some key words that, it was obvious frustration, but is your aspirations for championship gold in SWO, is there a title in particular you're after, or at this point you're just I want to be on top of the mountain? You know what I'm saying?
I'll put it like this. I debuted at SWO, I believe, what year are we in, 24? So about, was it in 2019? I don't know. It's been 4 or 5 years since I've debuted at SWO. I've held 0 championships. That's a problem for me.
Mm-hmm.
So it just seemed like all of that anger, 4 or 5 years worth of anger just built up over and over. And, it just came out. Now, which championship do I want? I fell short against Trace Parker. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. It happened. I could see what's gonna happen with Kim Spirit. I don't know yet. Yeah, I think that'd be fun. Just to see what'll happen. But at this point, it's just about getting some gold around my waist.
It would definitely be interesting because it'd be deceptive. Because again, like Merrick Miami underestimated her, and look what happened.
Exactly. Yeah, but I mean, respectfully, I love him, but I'm not Merrick Miami.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you guys would go back to our feud, which it was about 2 years ago.
2 years ago, yeah. That's about when I started coming down there.
Right. He ended up, on top, but he knew he was in a fight every single time. And I've only gotten better since then. And I'm 10 times more brutal, 10 times stronger, 10 times faster. It's not the same Rico Hendrix you've seen in the past. So Kim Spirit would be in a world of trouble if something were to go that way. Trace Parker, I don't believe lightning would strike twice for him. I don't. I think if that match was contained in the ring, he wouldn't have a way out. He had, he was able to throw me against concrete walls. And every time I'm falling on concrete. Threw me into a trash can. Head went into a trash can, bouncing my head off the table. He was able to do all of that. What happens when you have to stay confined to those ropes?
Right.
And I don't think he would have beat me.
And he's got a huge test coming up at the Reynolds Rumble. He has Matt Vertigo. What do you think of Matt Vertigo?
I think Matt Vertigo was just taller Rico Hendrix. I'm just going to be real with you. There aren't many differences. I think he's very talented. I think he's strong. He's fast. He's very smart. That's one thing people underestimate about him when you watch him in the ring, just the intricacies of his movements. And he's very smart. So that's really it. I mean, but there can only be one Rico Hendrix, but he does it quite well.
He does. I think that new aggression that we've seen out of him since the attack on Evan Atlas, that willingness to grab that chain, to bend the rules, twist things around. There is a mindedness there now. Do anything you can to win and to succeed.
Right.
And I think that's something that Trace Parker and anybody fighting with Matt Vertigo right now is going to have to take into account, because to your point, I've heard Matt Vertigo in the locker room. Matt Vertigo is the sort of guy that I'll hear somebody talking about, like, man, I don't know what to do against, so-and-so, because he's got this great move and this great move, and I've got this and I've got this. And Vertigo will just out of the corner just pop up with, well, he does that, but you could do this. And if you do that, that's going to neutralize that. So you could beat him right there, and then goes back to whatever he's doing. Like, it's just that instant with him.
Very. He's going to have a good time with Trace Parker. And I said lightning is not going to strike twice with Trace Parker. I don't think he gets lucky a second time. I'm just going to be real. This time he has to stay in the ring. I don't think he gets lucky a second time. And if the day comes where I got to stand across the ring from Matt Vertigo, the original Rico Hendrix, I mean, he's going to come out on top. There's no question about it, but it'd be a lot of fun.
Well, before that happens, you said you have a date with Chris Wilde, correct?
Yes, I do. The day before, actually.
Yes, you want to talk about that a little, talk about how that match came to fruition, and talk about the fact that you're going to be, staring in the ring at him, but in his corner is the one and only Devon Dudley.
So here's how this came about. It was, I believe, last weekend. I had a match against Chris Slade, who I've wrestled. This would be the second time I've wrestled him in singles action. Both times have gone insane. I can't wait for the video to drop. The crowd was losing it. Everything. It was like, oh. It was a lot of fun. But what happened is that I got to a point where it was like, hey, I feel like I'm ready to lose. I grabbed a steel chair. and he erroneously sprinted at me, he kneed the chair into my face and got disqualified. So I was able to move on to the championship match later that night. Bell a little wrong, but I was about 60%. Then, I have the match with Chris Wilde. I'm shaking up still, but I'm hanging in there doing what I need to do. Derek, he consistently, as he does, he provided distraction after distraction. Chris Wilde got distracted, sprinted around the ring, trying to play cat and mouse. 10 count, boom. Now we're on the rematch. So I won the match, but I didn't win the championship. And it's always good to get a win, but it's something that bothers me about not being able to leave Glen Burnie with the ACW Heavyweight Championship. So now I got to go up to Hagerstown, 90 minutes away, and I got to beat Chris Wilde again. But this time he's going to have a legend in his corner. Someone who I've respected since, me being a little kid. Granted, I'm not old enough to remember him in his heyday, but I am able to recognize who he is to the business. And I respect him immensely, but if he's going to be in the way of the ACW Heavyweight Championship, I'm going to have to do what I have to do. And I might have to put Old Yeller down. And I don't want to do that. I don't. But I have to do. To whom much is given, much is required.
Right.
And I have the task of, cleaning ACW out, and that starts with winning the championship. And if it requires taking it out on Legend, then so be it.
Well, I do remember Devon Dudley in his heyday, and I think that we talk about people that are smart. I think people forget that he was the mind behind putting the Dudley boys together, and he was sinister, devious mind that put them together and initiated all that mayhem. So you talk about putting down Old Yeller. I'd be worried about what kind of tricks Old Yeller still has up his sleeves.
Of course. You can't discount that. But hey, we've seen it before at this point. Like, we've seen it. I think I'll be fine.
Other than there and SWO, do you have anything else coming up, or are you looking to branch out to other places?
I honestly cut back on my schedule a lot.
Yeah.
And I know you guys referenced 3WA. I definitely need to get there.
Yeah.
Probably within the coming months or so. Last time I was there, I wrestled Trevor Terry on his debut match there.
Yes.
We had a good time with that.
And you won that.
I did.
Well,
I think the thing with 3WA, though, is that all of a sudden I miss a show and Cody Rhodes is the 3WA heavyweight champion.
Yeah.
That bothers me.
Yeah.
I can't help but to think that if I was there, what would happen? Like, it bothers me.
it bothers a lot of people, to be honest. No offense to Cody. It's not. It was kind of like, with that situation, he was in the right place at the right time, and it just kind of happened organically like that.
And organically, you're forgetting about your running buddies running in and attacking Tyler Sims and making sure.
Well, I wasn't going to go into that much detail with Rico. I was on Rico's side, where, if Rico was there, it might have been, Rico. It could have been Rico.
It could have been Rico.
It should have been Rico. It's been a long time coming. As much as I've done for 3WA, I believe that it is time to give Rico Hendrix a 3WA heavyweight championship match. But honestly, I'm going to pick the time and place for that. I don't need to be on their time. Whenever Rico Hendrix shows up to Quakerstown, then we can talk business from there.
Look forward to that. Anywhere else? Is there anywhere else within your reach? I know you said you've been cutting back.
Yeah.
But is there anywhere on your radar that maybe you haven't worked that you've been maybe eyeballing?
Definitely up there.
Three Legacies. Yeah, that was one I was going to bring up.
That would be a lot of fun. What else do I have on my schedule? I would have to have it in front of me. But I've worked, where is it? Well, it's now called 814 Wrestling. That's up in Altoona. That's the other way.
Yeah.
Haven't been there all year, so I got to get over there. What's the other one called? There's PPW, the one down in North Carolina, not the Pennsylvania one.
Not the
Pennsylvania one would be cool.
Yeah, that's Slatington. They've been running in PPW and PA has been running in Slatington.
Yeah, I would love to get there too.
I'd love to have you there because that's 5 minutes from my house.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I might have to talk to somebody about that. I got to go there. Voltage would be a lot of fun. Yeah, I'm just got to get to the point where I got to fill my schedule back up. That's really it.
Here's a better question. Instead of talking about other feds you might think about, is there wrestlers out there that you have not, taken on, but you would like to, and sooner the better?
Honestly, we got to get to the point where I'm wrestling people that have been where I want to go.
Mm-hmm.
So as much as I respect everybody that, I locked up with at SWO, 3WA, so on and so forth, we got to get to the guys that have been on the Impacts, the MLWs, the Ring of Honors, the AEWs, the WWEs. One match that would mean a lot to me, well, there's a couple of them. Number one would be Elijah Burke, the Pope. He's someone that I've looked up to since I was a little kid. I would love to have that happen.
So underrated, I think. Still, so underrated.
Very. He's a great guy too. He has the Love Alive chair. I'm gonna plug it. Whatever. He has the Love Alive chair that's down, and he runs it out of Jacksonville. Where, I mean, he does it all year, but we go down like twice a year to help out. We hand out clothes, food, just mingle with those that are out on the streets, those who may be less fortunate. I remember going down, and it's crazy because we go down to Jacksonville thinking, oh, it's gonna be warm. Like, it was January, and the wind chill made it like, because Jacksonville's right off the water. People don't realize.
Right.
So it was like 30 something degrees outside, and I'm like, I did not come down to Florida to feel the same thing I feel in Maryland. Yep. But it puts things in perspective though, because they were all out there. Some people didn't even have basic thin layer jacket, like something I may have on now. They didn't even have that. So just being able to help people out was something great. It was something rewarding. So that's Elijah Burke's community work, and then his in-ring work and what he's meant to the business from the time he started to now. It means a lot. So I would love to wrestle him. Number two, I don't know how likely this is going to be because he's getting a lot of TV time now. But Matt Taven was definitely on that list. He was somebody that I've watched since I was a teenager. Again, that would mean a lot, too. I went to a seminar of his when I was like 9 months in. So, yeah. But we'll go to the more likely route. Jordan Oliver, that would be fun. He's been at SWO a couple times. I would love for them to bring him back. I feel like that's a challenge for me. That'd be something for me to know that I'm ready for the next level. Same with Myron Reed. I think Alex Kane goes in that category. Those are the three off the top of my head.
How about Bro Keller?
Oh yeah, bro. Yeah, I love Bro. Yeah, that'd be fun. Bro Keller.
And he's around.
And he's around.
He's around that area.
He'll be at SWO, I believe, at the Reynolds Rumble.
Yeah, I think he signed for the Reynolds Rumble.
Oh, he is?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Good to know.
As is Sonny Kiss.
Oh, God. Sonny one-on-one needs to happen. When I worked Sonny, that was a tag match. That needs to happen one-on-one.
You want Sonny one-on-one?
Oh, that'd be great.
I would love that. I would love to see that.
Bro Keller's one of those people that should be on TV like that.
And yes.
Yeah, I don't know what the hell happened there. Really don't.
I don't either. I'd like to get it from his mouth. I'd like to have him on here and get it from his mouth because he was on Monday Night Raw.
Right.
And
they made an action figure of him.
Exactly. For guys like that, it's rarely a talent reason. Things happen. I mean, that's just all I can say. Things happen. Sometimes you be the right place, the right time. There's been far less. I hate to say it like this, but there's been far less deserving guys that get those jobs. It just happens. So, I mean, hopefully it works out for him.
It's a weird business, man. Like, and the more Keith and I get involved in it and get to know a little bit more and more and more every year, it's so weird that we see a lot of talent. We see all these talent, and we think, man, this guy should be on TV.
Right.
You know, his in-ring work is solid. His his promos are awesome. Like the characters, he's way deep into character. Like Keith and I show you all these guys, and then we talk about it, like, you know, amongst ourselves about, man, like so and so. I'm not naming it. I'm not going to name names, but like
Yeah.
so and so is. Why are they not there yet? They should be there. Like if you've been there, Keith. Didn't you say the wrestlers are rookie for 5 years?
I mean, that's always what I understood from the old timers and from
Sure.
some folks like yourself, Rico. I think that's still the standard, right? Is you're kind of not considered a vet until about 5 years. Then it's kind of considered like, okay, you know how to kind of put things together now.
Yeah.
And
100%. I'd like to consider. I mean, I'll toot my own horn a little bit. I like to consider myself a little more advanced, but I have been in for 4 years. I think my main strength's been ring IQ, putting matches together, making my opponents look good. It's not just about me going out there and doing my moves, even though I have them, but I'm able to, you know, put together an entertaining match every single time. And consistency is key in this business. Yeah, but yes, I'm 4 years in. I don't know if, I mean, that 50-year rule, fine. I think that kind of goes out of the window a little bit because you see so many guys get signed in like 2.
Yeah.
It's a different day. It's a little weird.
Yeah, I mean, it comes back to, too, you know, this is why I always say, like, rooting against the company is counterproductive. If you don't like somebody's product, that's fine. You don't like it. But you should not then conversely root for them to go out of business, because not everybody is going to WWE. Because WWE only has so many hours of television time. They only have so many roster spots. Same thing with AEW. Same thing with Impact. Same thing with any company you want to name. You cannot take everybody. So you've got to root for as many companies as possible to be successful, so that these television entities, you know, the streaming entities, whoever, start going like, wow, wrestling's hot. I want to get a wrestling promotion. Who's out there? Let me sign them up, because you know what? Then there's more spots. Then there's more money for everybody. And those guys you want to see on TV will get on TV.
Exactly. And just to really put that into perspective, it's the same way. I was a football player, so that's how I relate to everything. So let me get to that. What happens is like pro wrestling wise, there might be 100,000 pro wrestlers in the company. And you're talking about WWE, who may have 100 spots, may be a little too generous, but I'll say 100 spots. Because at the end of the day, how many of them are getting used and how many of them are sitting in the backstage? So you're talking about 100,000 down to like 100, down to like 30 that may see screen time. That it's really tough for that to happen. So yes, there does need to be more avenues for guys like myself to be seen, and guys like the Bro Kellers of the world and the Dog Nations of the world, who have been tearing it up, by the way.
Everywhere. Everywhere.
So just need more opportunity out there. That's all. Because we can't sit here and complain, why don't they pick me? I'd be foolish to sit there and really be like, okay.
Yeah. Well, there's no quick way. Like you said, some guys get in 2 years at, 2 years in or whatever, but that's rare, right? That's like having a that's like having a phenom in baseball can throw 100 miles an hour when he's age 19. He gets signed by the Yankees farm system because, they don't want anybody else to get him.
Right. Those are the unicorns, though. That's not like, those are the Leo Rushes of the world. That doesn't happen all the time.
Yeah.
Orange Cassidy.
Yeah.
So it's unicorns. It's not.
But I hate, and I'm with Keith on this. I hate when people think like, when they paintbrush us with like, we only give a damn about one Fed versus the other, or we only give a damn about WWE versus AEW. No, we want AEW to succeed and be around for people to have a place to go. Because
I don't love their product, but again, it's down to, I do not want them to go out of business. I want them to do better. I want them to be safer. I don't want to see people in wheelchairs
getting hurt all the time.
For the love of God, I don't want them to go out of business, because especially a company like AEW, you go out of business, all those jobs are gone, all those spots are gone. And, not only that, but then what kind of a taste are you leaving in the mouth of TBS or big television networks like that? Are they now going to turn around and go back to the attitude they had when WCW went under of, okay, we ain't doing this wrestling shit no more. We don't need it. We don't need to do this. If we can't get WWE, we don't need to roll the dice on anybody else. Screw this. We're going to go to some other programming.
Yeah, you're 100% right on that. And they have more jobs than WWE does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
because they got a lot, they have all this TV time, man. They got Dynamite, they got Rampage, they got Collision,
and that's not even the Ring of Honor too. They have Ring of Honor streaming online.
Yeah, Ring of Honor too. I got friends that are working extra for Ring of Honor who is deep, is very deep.
Yeah.
So yeah, man, we have guys on here like yourself, and we always root for you guys to get out of this business what you want. You're obviously doing it because you love it.
Yes.
To get out of this business what you want, we would like nothing more than to see you signed or Dog Nation signed or somebody else signed, and be sitting there watching TV one day and all of a sudden say, "Oh my God!" Like go nuts because I see you on. I mean, if it was Impact, I don't care what it is. If you were on TV or any of the other guys that we've talked to or met or have had on Around the Turnbuckle or on TV, it's the biggest high for us.
Tribalism's stupid. I just want to see people on TV. I want to see people making money. I want to see people being able to come up to me and tell me like, "Yo, this is my last show here, and I quit my shoot job because I just got a contract and I'm going to TV and I'm a wrestler now. This is what I do. This is my living. This is how I feed my family. I fucking made it." That's what I want to see happen. I don't care where it is, as long as it happens.
I'll say you hit the nail on the head. I was about to say, I just want somebody to write me a check. I don't care who it's for. I want to be able to walk into my job and be like, "Hey, this is my last day. So I'm going to Florida for X amount of, I don't know what they do at NXT, but I'm going down to Florida. I'm going to Tennessee. I'm going to
Orlando."
Exactly. It's like I want to be able to do that. And I understand. I mean, I'm not naive enough to, think my stuff doesn't stink. I know what I need to work on between now and getting that deal. And it's happening. It's in the works. And we're going to get there. I'm only 24 years old I need some wood to knock on, 0 major injuries. So I think we're headed in the right direction. Yeah.
I'd like you to tell, 4 or 5 years in now, I'd like you to tell 2 different stories. One about your best night, your best night ever in wrestling, and two, your worst night ever in wrestling. And you don't necessarily have to throw anybody under the bus when you tell those stories.
Oh, I'm not. My worst night, man, maybe I should have had Derek on here, but
Derek,
it was a match where I'm not going to say any names,
right?
But it was against a guy who was not very good. And I pride myself on normally being able to make those guys look all right. But there's just some people, it's one thing to not be good. It's another thing to not be good and not listen.
Oh, fuck those.
So when we're getting to a point where I'm doing moves to you and you're standing up almost immediately every time, now in my head I'm thinking I'm gonna hit this guy for real.
Yep. Because now you're being disrespectful.
Right.
You're disrespected at that point because, like, dude, I'm hitting my best shit. Like, sell it a little.
And then I was still, being a pro, I still made this stuff look good. The match was horrible.
Yeah.
And then the worst part, I don't think it went that long. Or maybe it just felt long. But
I bet it did.
Terrible. So then, of course, he storms off to the back, and I'm just sitting there, and it was not a good day. This was that Hagerstown? No, it was Sykesville, maybe. I don't know. It was in one of those cities, so it was in Maryland. It was not a good day for me. The only upside is that nobody got hurt. That match was horrible. I will never watch it back.
I had a friend recount a similar situation to me. He had somebody wanted to bring him into their promotion. He's like, all right. I mean, he's been doing this for like almost 20 years now. And he's like, okay, well, what do you see happen? The guy was the champion and all. He's like, oh, I want you to work a program with me. He's like, okay, that sounds good. I'm listening. He's like, yeah, I'll beat you in the first. I want to bring you in as a heel, and we're gonna, build you up and all that to get in the program with me. Okay, I like what I'm hearing so far.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll beat you in the first match. Okay, well, little different, but all right. And then what do we do in the second match? Then I'm beating the second match.
Like, wait a minute.
Wait, why would you beat me in the second? What the fuck? You told me this was a 3-match program, and you already beat me in 2 of the matches. So do I win the third match? No, I beat you there too.
Yeah.
Why would I come in for any of this then?
Yeah, I think
you're just gonna beat me.
I'll keep my bump card a little clear.
Yeah.
As far as one of my better nights in wrestling, though, it might just be the recent Chris Slade match. I have never had a crowd react like that to any of my matches before. And again,
how big was the crowd? How big was the crowd?
It was like a hair under. What was max? It was like 2. I think he said he could only sell 212, so it might have been 212 in there.
Okay.
Yeah, it was sold out. And some of the pictures may be deceptive. No, the fans were standing up in the back and off to the side. So the chair, we weren't lying. But no, seeing the crowd react that way to every single thing, it felt like I was on a GCW show almost, like with the reactions, and like I was like, oh, we're really going, like we're hot. So I was very happy with that one. Another one. Do I have another one? I think the first time I wrestled Sonny Kiss, I think that was a pretty good moment.
Tag match?
Yeah, very hot crowd. And again, everything Sonny did to me, it was over like Grover. It was nothing we could have done there to get cheered or have anybody like us at all. And it was with Tim Russ. So Tim Russ is great to work with. So.
The Reynolds Rumble last year, they were really into it. It was a hot crowd, a lot of kids, obviously, but but they were so into it. They were into every match. They were into almost every move.
Yes.
It was so much fun to be a part of. So I'm really looking forward to that one on April 26th. It's SWO. Yeah, that's April 26th.
I circle the Reynolds Rumble every year on the calendar. That is so much fun.
It'll be my first one. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, so we're excited.
Yeah, last year was the Rumble where Tommy Vex and I finished it. When Tommy Vex and I had our feud going on, which was a lot of fun, by the way.
Yeah.
And just hearing, as soon as, obviously they're booing me and stuff, but the minute I push Tommy into Mary and Mary falls off the apron and she hurts her leg, and I turn around, there are all these little kids and parents who's like, bah! I'm like, oh my, 500 people just going at you. I'm like, this is awesome. So I really can't wait for that this year. I know the match. I can't say it yet, but it's going to be a lot of fun.
You had a feud. I mean, that feud with Tommy Vex was pretty good. I thought the whole thing.
I enjoyed it.
The whole thing with Tommy, I thought was good.
Tommy wanted to work with.
I had my girl there for when they did the whole resting you ankle. She was like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah, that was hilarious.
Wrestling.
Tommy Vex is basically a night off in the ring. It is that easy. He's phenomenal. And he had to reel me back a few times. I'm not gonna lie to you. He's like, "Yeah, do we need to do all that?" I'm like, "What?" No, but he was like, "All right, we're gonna do our last match." For example, he was just like, "All right, Mary's gonna come in here. Derek's gonna come out here. This is how we're ending it. Everything else, hey, see you out there, brother."
Yeah.
I don't know. You might be able to tell if you watch it back. If I didn't say anything, you wouldn't. But it's so easy to work with him. I'd work with him 1,000 times.
That's not the last time, or that's not the first time I've heard that about Tommy Vex, and it won't be the last.
And Mary was a pro too, so.
Oh yeah, I love Tommy and Mary.
He's actually wrestling now.
They wrestled each other recently. Do you know that, Professor?
Rob me.
I do. Yeah, I have to go sit and watch the video. I'm subscribed to Smash Master.
I saw it. It was Smash Masters, and it was the loser does the dishes.
I have so much stuff that I'm subscribed to, and I'm like, I'm gonna sit down and watch this, and then it's like a week later, and I'm like, fuck.
I won't spoil it for you, but it was actually a pretty damn good match. Like because Mary, you know that Mary's not as well trained as Tommy is,
Right.
and so you had it in your head. You're like, oh man, how's this going to look? And we had Mary on. Mary's excellent. We had Mary on Around the Turnbuckle, and she was very open about the fact that the reason why she's not a women's wrestler or going out there making a name for herself in the business the way Tommy is because she has a condition which causes her not to be able to do that.
Yeah.
That being said, you wouldn't have known it in that match with Tommy. You would not have known it. She took several bumps where I'm like, knowing what I know, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. And I was, but it was like, it was a lot better than I thought it was. So kudos to both of them, but kudos to Mary, especially.
Yeah, Mary scares me because, and again, you mentioned it, so I feel safe in bringing it up. She does have, I don't know what it is, but she's not feeling well.
Chronic, there's no name for it really. It's chronic migraines. Where if she takes a really bad bump, it can be bad.
Somebody close to me suffers from that too, and I mean it's horrible when it hits. It's just complete debilitation. There have been times where I'll just sit with her, and I mean, she can't move for hours.
Yeah.
Because the pain is just so blinding and bad.
I might be wrong on this, but I don't think I am. It was the day where I hit her with the chair. I think she was like kind of I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't want to do this. I didn't want to do it to begin with. It was that her? It was either her idea or Tommy's idea. It was
probably her.
I totally believe it was her idea.
I was like, I don't want to do this. Like, and I'm out there. Like the hesitation, like the first two were kind of like, that was, works. That last one, I'm like, I don't want to do this. Because I'm like, if I hurt her and she's out of work, because we all have real jobs. I'm like, oh, right, out of work or anything crazy. But no, she was like, oh, it's fine. I'm like, oh, okay. She's great though.
Yeah, Keith, you definitely got to check out that match, man. You'll love it. It's not that long. It's only like 6 or 7 minutes, but they get a lot in that 6 or 7 minutes.
Good.
It was phenomenal show and a neat looking venue there that they wrestle in there. It's like a brewery or like a brewmaster place.
I got you.
Yeah,
master. Actually, I didn't get a formal invitation, but I did get an invitation nonetheless. So I might have to go.
Yeah, it's up there by Scranton, right? Like they wrestle up near Scranton, like and I always say it wrong, and then Uncle Masty gets mad at me. It's Troop. I always say Throop because it's THROOP.
See, that's why I don't like the name of the, like we're reading.
I agree with you 100%.
Pennsylvania's weird for that.
Isn't it Reading or Reading? Because I remember I got in trouble for that once.
I always say Reading.
It's Reading.
I always heard Reading. Okay.
Yeah, I said Reading for like the first.
I always say Lancaster wrong too.
I was gonna say because I know we fucking Jersey boys say Lancaster wrong.
We say Lancaster.
We say like Lancaster, and they don't like that. They don't like that.
So they'd be all right.
You know who corrected me on that one, Keith? Ace Dallas's mom.
Oh, I'm sure. Oh, Mama Dallas corrected you. I was thinking it was Ace.
It was Ace Dallas's mom. I'm actually in the ring announcing and announcing an event that they're going to have in Lancaster. But I kept saying Lancaster. And she's in the second row. And after I said it 1 or 2 times, she's looking at me. She goes, it's Lancaster. Like she mouthed it. And I looked down at her and I'm like, as I'm talking, I'm looking down at her and then I'm like, sorry, I've been corrected. It's Lancaster. Lancaster. I'm sorry. I'm sorry for anybody here from Lancaster. I felt about like this big. She couldn't take me aside. Like she couldn't take me aside when I'm not in the ring, right? She did it right there while I was in the ring.
No, you got to know. You got to learn.
I'm gonna say it just like that too. It's Lancaster. I don't care. You can't just sit here and change the pronunciation of words just because of where you from.
But that's the thing that I've been noticing working in Pennsylvania is that there really is like a change of syllable or something between Jersey and Pennsylvania. I don't know why, but our accents very different with that. There's like a change of a syllable or two, and it's crazy because it's like we border each other. How would that happen?
Yeah, I'm from Maryland. So I don't know what to tell you. This is
Yeah.
Most people think I'm from North Carolina just because I like the Panthers and I build myself.
Well, you also build yourself from Charlotte.
Exactly. No, I'm from Maryland through and through. But I mean, that's still considered the South technically.
Yeah.
Maryland, yeah.
Some parts, it depends.
Yeah, because Maryland's like right on that borderland there. It's not the deep South. It's like it's like if you want to go to the South, you start in Maryland.
Yeah, exactly. But I also frequent the South a lot too. So sometimes you pick things up. I go to North Carolina every year. So it's like sometimes I'll come back and you'll sound like those people down there. But the North Carolina people are tricky though, because sometimes they'll sound like they from like freaking Alabama or something. And they got some that sound like they're from, up here. So it just depends on where you're from. And Charlotte's a fairly, a lot of people like to migrate there. So you got a mix of everything there. It's a lot.
Yeah, Charlotte's a very cosmopolitan.
I've only been there once in Charlotte, right? And I was on my way to South Carolina on a family vacation. So when I saw on the maps that we were going to drive through Charlotte, I literally had to pull the car over when I was in the Charlotte border and just stand out my car and say "woo" really loud.
Just one.
Where she did.
And then got back in the car and my wife goes, "Was that effing necessary?" And I said, "Yes."
Yes, it was.
I don't know when I'm coming back to Charlotte. This is Flair country, man.
Exactly. That's the best thing to come out of Charlotte.
I drove right past the damn stadium too. It's right there on that interstate.
Mm-hmm.
It's like overpowers the interstate almost.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty nice looking stadium there the Panthers have. You know what? Speaking of the Panthers, dude, let's switch gears a minute. Let's take a break from wrestling. How do you feel about the Panthers free agency over the past couple of weeks?
It's mixed. Like the lineman signings, A+. That should have. I'm glad they did that because you at least removed the need from the draft. Cool, or at least push it back to like the later rounds. Deontay Johnson, he's a question mark for me right now.
Okay.
It is not a skill thing. I think watching him give up on that play when they were playing the Steelers played the Bengals last year.
Yes.
Kind of left a sour taste. I think it was an interception or something, or a fumble. Something happened, and the other people are running the other way, and he's just like standing there and pouting. I'm like, I don't know, man. I don't. If we were going to trade,
do you believe in Bryce Young?
Yeah, 100%. He's not my question mark.
No,
he's not my question mark at all.
Okay,
you gotta. It's just the things he does. The main thing that stuck out to me was his late game. Not necessarily heroics because we lost a lot, but just how calm he was at the end of the game when we needed a game-winning drive. The 2 times we needed, stood in the pocket, chilled out, bam, delivered. Bam, I'm like, okay, you don't see that out of many rookies. So that was one big positive. The only thing on me, he might want to eat a little bit. They got to get him to a Bojangles down there. You can't fix his height. Either way.
He said Bojangles.
Oh, I love Bojangles.
No, there's a Bojangles up from the Quakertown Farmers Market up in the
There is. I go there every time. That's my problem.
Oh my God.
Right up the street. I know where it is.
Yeah.
But no, Bryce has got to come back at least 250. Bryce got to come back about 215, 220.
You follow the Tar Heels at all?
Not much.
Okay, well, because our buddy Chris was at the first round game in Charlotte. Charlotte is crazy and was there for the NCAA first round. Traffic was crazy.
Bet it was. Oh, that traffic is horrible. Was it at the Spectrum Center or was it at? No, I'm sure it was at the school.
Yeah. I don't know. He'll tell you.
Center, then that traffic is horrible.
Yeah, he'll tell you. It's probably at the arena. It's the first round of the tournament, so.
Yeah, that traffic is terrible. I can't. Oh, I hate it.
He was sending me pictures, like him and his wife went down, and he was sending me up for them. They live in South Carolina, so it's north, but he was sending me pictures from the arena, so it looked like the arena to me.
Okay, if it was Spectrum Center, then that was horrible. Their traffic, it's the same thing.
Home of the Hornets.
Where do you guys? Shoot, y'all are in PA, yo.
Yeah, we're in PA.
Philly. It's almost the same exact way.
Oh damn!
Almost the same exact way.
Yeah.
So like Wells Fargo is here, and then like you got Lincoln Financial that's like right up the street.
Yeah, it's right. They're right next to each other in one big complex, like a sports complex.
Exactly.
Charlotte has the same thing, whereas
Close.
New York, New Jersey, everything's all over the place.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
It's not as close together as those two, but it's still like right there. Like it's the same traffic.
Mm-hmm.
It's terrible. I hate it. But
it's terrible when there's nothing, going on in sports. It's bad. It's bad on a normal day.
when we were leaving the Panthers game, I went to the game that almost made me cry when Bryce threw 3 interceptions.
Oh boy.
It was the Colts game, and we left, and the amount. First of all, they had cops directing traffic, which is fine. But eventually, the cops, I think they even gave up after a certain point. It was like, look, it was people cutting across lane. Almost 3 accidents happened. I'm like, this is terrible. And then our Uber couldn't even get to us. Like he had to dart across traffic. I'm like, Charlotte's a pretty bad place to drive.
All right, man. We're gonna get out of here soon, but before we do that, let everybody know what you've got. Remind everybody what you got coming up, and how they can get a hold of you if they want to book you.
So all of my socials, and I pretty much handle my bookings the same way, is all of them are Rico Hendrix Pro. My Facebook is Rico Hendrix. What's coming up? So I have the April 19th. That is my match against Chris Wilde with Devon in his corner, which is going to be a lot of fun. I have the day after, that being the match against Trent Farrell, the road to the Rumble. Then a Reynolds Rumble with the match that I can't announce yet. It's going to be a lot of fun. I believe that's the next Friday. I want to say that's the 26th.
Yeah, 26th. Yep. So it's 19th, April 19th, April 20th, and April 26th.
I'm sure I've got some other dates too, but I just forgot.
Damn week.
But overall, just follow my social medias, and you can see everything there.
Yeah, you can see a lot of his matches, especially his SWO matches on the SWO YouTube channel. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
You can catch it. You can catch his matches there. All of them are phenomenal, and we've always had a good time seeing him wrestle wherever he wrestles. He is Rico Hendrix. One last question, man.
And get his football insights too on his social media.
Yeah. A lot of his Facebook posts are crying about the Carolina Panthers. He needs to worry about the Atlanta Falcons. They made more. Atlanta Falcons made more moves than any other NFL team, and they're in that division, buddy.
I'm scared of them this year. I will say that.
Yeah.
The other two, I'm not worried about.
Yeah, I wouldn't either. Well, you know what? Kirk Cousins will get you 10 wins, and then you'll lose in the first round. So, congratulations, Falcons. All right. The last question I have for you, man, is WrestleMania is in 2 weeks. The main event is Cody Rhodes.
Somebody needs to, can I just editorialize for a minute? Somebody needs to change their damn name. Either Cody Rhodes needs to change his name or Cody Rose needs to change his name, because it is a problem.
Cody Rose is the one getting checked.
Correct.
I'm saying that
problem. The American Nightmare takes on Roman Reigns. Who wins?
I think Cody finally finishes the story. He's got to do it. If he doesn't, he's dead. I said that last year.
I agree.
I said that last
year. Now it's never.
I said last year. I said if Cody doesn't win, he's dead. He lost and he managed to stay afloat. But I think a second time, you can't.
Every once in a while, WWE actually gives them what the fans want, right? Yeah. And they did it here. They had plans of Roman Rock or whatever they were going to do. Yeah. And they listened to the fans. Last time they did that, there was a guy named Bryan Danielson, a.k.a. Daniel Bryan, who ended up champion at the end of WrestleMania 30. So,
yeah, I think
that was 10 years ago.
I think it'll be a better outcome.
Every 10 we get the moment, though. At 20, it was
Eddie Guerrero and Benoit.
Yeah.
It was Eddie Guerrero and Benoit.
30, we got Daniel Bryan. So we'll get ours this year. Who knows?
WrestleMania 10, you had Bret the Hitman Hart.
Yeah, exactly. Boom. Every 10, I think we get it. So
it's the wrestler. Yeah. The wrestler wins, not the big shiny, not the shiny face toy wins.
Right.
I think Cody kind of combines being the shiny toy and the wrestler right now.
I don't think he's a better wrestler than Roman. You don't think he's a better wrestler than Roman? You don't think Cody Rhodes is a better
He's
wrestler
a
than
better
Roman?
wrestler. He's not a better worker.
Yeah. And I
Okay.
mean, the thing about Cody too is honestly, I see Cody being somebody that, like, when his career is done, he's gonna potentially be somebody that's gonna be like groomed as the next Triple H. I really think. I think he might be the guy that takes over kind of that role, because I look at Cody and I look at a lot of his interviews and stuff, and it's like he's already kind of positioning himself for, like, I'm going to be Mr. WWE. When the in-ring career is done, I'm going to have a spot at the table.
He will certainly have a job afterwards. So.
All right, man. Don't go anywhere when we go off the air. Professor, you know as well as I do who we have next week right here on Around the Turnbuckle at 6 o'clock.
Yes, we do. Mr. Ace Dallas, who has undergone quite a radical change.
He went soft again.
Tell him, Rico. Tell him, Rico. The almighty Revan will be here next week. So make sure you follow us, subscribe, share us, all that good stuff. We'll be talking to Ace Dallas live next week, this time on this channel. In the meantime, for the Professor and the high-valued man, Rico Hendrix, this is Around the Turnbuckle. We'll see you next time.
All right.
You think you know me?
Oh, yeah! If you smile!
Calculations